This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. The organization should be structured and organized in such a way that efficiency is attained through the exercise of power and decision-making. These structures determine the flow of power and decision-making. Who does what is, and who decides what is well-defined? Generally, there are two forms of structuring, bureaucratic and non-bureaucratic. This paper describes and differentiates bureaucratic and non-bureaucratic organizations. Bureaucratic organizations. In these organizations, there is a formal exercise of power. Rules are implemented in a hierarchical manner. The structuring leads to 5 characteristics in these organizations. These characteristics include clear works definition. The management in these organizations defines the roles and duties to be undertaken by different people in the organization. The degree of decision that unit managers and junior staff can make is determined by the structure. Set rigid target. Work is divided in terms of targets, and each department is supposed to attain a set target at a specified period of time. The decision is of the top management and scaled down to smaller units in the organization. Hierarchy of power. In this organization, there is a ladder of power that determines the kind of decision that a certain level can make. Junior staff have very limited interference in decision-making. Their work is to undertake the orders given. Recruitment and promotions are technical expertise-based. In these organizations, they have a high emphasis on the attainment of their decisions, and thus, when positions arise, they give them to people with technical expertise. Documented rules. There is a set of rules that must be followed to ensure that certain goals are met in the organization. Rules are solid, and adjustment calls for the intervention of top management. Advantages. First of all, clear rules discourage nepotism and favoritism in the companies. Secondly, offers predictability in business growth and outcomes. And finally, bureaucratic organizations have easy control and monitoring and encourage specialization. Disadvantages. Human resources are denied the power to make decisions and thus limited career growth and reduced creativity and innovations. The policies are rigid and demotivate staff. If they lead to inefficiency, then realizing where the problem is hard. One way of making decisions can lead to inefficiency. This style is more applicable in large organizations where the management can only control through strict rules. Non-bureaucratic organizations. These are organizations where management and junior staff participate jointly in making decisions that drive the organization. Although there is a hierarchy of power, the organizations empower junior staff to exercise their decisiveness in areas slightly above their power but remain accountable. They offer a free surface for one to exercise his leadership skills. In cases of emergency, there is no need to contact the management, but one confronted by a situation is empowered to make a decision. When the decision is made, there are consultations with departmental heads who are mandated to represent the views of their teams. Non-bureaucratic organizations' advantages are the following. Employees are motivated to innovate and create better techniques for doing things. Decisions are made fast, and thus, in certain circumstances, a business can benefit from a quick decision, and decisions well-informed, and thus making a decision that arises to competitive advantage is high. Non-bureaucratic organizations' disadvantages are that the organization can be manipulated for personal gain, decisions made without control by management may harm a company, and management may lack control over the company affairs. This style is more applicable in small organizations which are growing rapidly. This is because a failure to make a decision can lead to a loss of business. Although there is control, it is for accountability purposes. Differences in bureaucratic organizations and bureaucratic organizations. In bureaucratic organizations, management has the sole power of making decisions, strict adherence to the hierarchy of power, rigid work targets, and staff do not participate in decision-making. One-way traffic in the flow of information is from management to junior staff. In non-bureaucratic organizations, junior employees can decide though controlled by top management. Sometimes, the hierarchy of power is overlooked, flexible work targets, staff involved in decision-making, and feedback is enhanced. Conclusion: to have a competitive edge, an organization's management should structure its processes in a way that enhances efficiency and free flow of information and decisions. Decisions are the driving force in an organization, and thus, who makes them is of great importance. There are two ways of organizational structuring: bureaucratic and non-bureaucratic. Different industries require a different approach, and it is up to the management to know the one to employ. Did you like this bureaucratic and non-bureaucratic organizations sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivpanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.